And here we go, here we go.
Welcome to the NFL.
Let's go.
Let's go. Go. Go.
Welcome in, everybody. We're here. It is week 3 of the NFL season, and it's chaos. All of the quarterbacks are injured. Everybody's injured. Everybody's playing limited. It's all going to be lots of fun here in week 3. And also, you could have a pretty good advantage depending on who you started here on Thursday Night Football. We had plenty of points scored on both sides of the ball, with some decent fantasy production, especially from those of Josh Allen, James Cook, Dalton Kincaid. Could be looking pretty good headed here into Sunday, and we have some pretty good matchups as well this week. So excited to dive into that here with you guys today. We have a live start sit thread that I've had going since about 9 over on my Twitter. You can also obviously catch us here. I am going to link that here in a second when Twitter cooperates with me here to that start sit thread here. So we can get everybody here in one place to the best of our abilities and answer as many questions as possible, because that's always the hardest part. It's going to be getting that everybody all over into one spot. So we are here though, and we're going to get into these here in just a second. Just got to get linked up here, and Twitter is not cooperating, so let's do this and then we're gonna dive right in. Okay, the DJ's done. Let's do this. Alrighty, everybody, let's see. We're having some trouble here. Okay, give me a second. We're moving now. All right, we have someone way early. Jason, I don't know if you're here already. Prop this baby in at 8:30, but need one of these flexes, one flex, 2 running backs. So we're looking at Jordan Mason, Chase Brown, Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, Ken Walker. I believe I may have hit this on Twitter for you, but I'm playing Mason, Brown, and Ken Walker, Jason. Tootsie Pop, what is up, Rachel? Can you hit this one a little early as well? But let's see here, Superflex. Hopefully you're here, Rachel. If not, we'll see. You can always put the question back in there. Kraft, Turpin, Stafford, loss of points for interception sacks, and there are points and returns. Points for returns and stuff like that, I'm probably going Cavante Turpin. Gets a little bit of all of that. Also, Stafford could be in some trouble as far as staying upright goes there in the Philadelphia matchup. Good morning, David. How are you doing? Good morning. Now let's hit those questions, David. 10-man PPR. Wide receivers are Jettas, Hill, Myers, Hunter, Ted, Johnson, running backs. Would you trade Jettas and Connor for Monra and Hampton? So you're getting rid of Jettas and Connor. So I'd rather have Connor than Pollard rest of season, David. As far as this goes, I don't mind it. I feel like you're going to downgrade a touch at receiver, but when McCarthy's in there, Jettas hasn't been great. I expect a huge bounce back, probably with Wentz a little bit better here for Justin Jefferson this week. But rest of season, I think you're awash. I mean, I guess the play is you're expecting Hampton to be better than Connor, which I don't know if that's going to be the case, David. So I would probably just hold Jettas and Connor, to be honest. Eric, we got Ibuka or Bill. I'm going to go with Ibuka. I know he's limited. I know you put in here as well PPR. I know rumors are he's going to be limited. We also saw some that said he wasn't going to be limited. So the question is what are we going to get? And we really don't know that answer. I'm guessing Ibuka with even limited will probably still have a fairly good role near the end zone. But we're also talking about Bill, who There's been some reports this morning as far as Rodriguez could be involved again. Now you've got McNichols. I think you see all three of them, and I think it could be a mess. Now, it doesn't mean that Bill isn't going to be the best one. It's really going to come down to who gets in the end zone. So I think from that receiver, or from that running back room, because I think McNichols will probably play the passing downs. Rodriguez will probably be worked in with Bill. So I'm not sold on Krosky Merritt this week. So I would still ride Ibuka. I know it's limited, but not sold. And for Francis here, I'm playing McNichols. I think McNichols is a guy that could have a pretty decent day in a game that might be a little bit back and forth with Mariota and under the Daniels. So I think there'll be a little bit more passing going on, and I think McNichols is a sneaky play, truthfully, this week. Mr. Nice Guy, what's up? Kamara, Pollard, Pacheco, or Keenan? Pick two of them. I'm going to roll Kamara for sure. And then it's between Pacheco and Keenan Allen. I like Pacheco this week. I think he scores. That's really why. If he doesn't score, it's going to be a bad day. So I lean to Pacheco just because I think he does end up in the end zone. Standard scoring, Johnson or Warren. I would go Warren there, Ben. Chris is going to be in a limited snap count. Leave him in or roll with A.O. Manor. If any of these, Chris, I would go with A.O. Manor. I still like Ibuka. Like I said, I do think that he's closer if he plays limited snaps. I think maybe red zone type of territory, like important situations. Also, I feel like he's limited on the basis of how he feels. So there's also that chance that he feels good and he plays more. So it's tough because you're going off of reports that we've seen, and you can't necessarily say either direction what we're going to get. And that's the risk with playing Ibuka. Like, you might get the limited snap count and it's nothing. The limited snap count could erase because he says, oh, I'm feeling fine, let's roll it. With A.O. Manor, you're really risking that chances of, like, there hasn't been the production. The usage has been there, but we haven't really seen a huge spike week. He obviously got in the end zone, but I'm probably going to Ibuka, Chris, unless you've got somebody really, really stable in that room or on the roster where you're like, you're okay if A.O. Manor gets you 2 points. But then again, if Ibuka's limited, he only gets 2 points. Like, I'm playing the upside of Ibuka. That's where I'm at, Chris. David, 1 running back, 1 flex, options, Dobbins, Johnston, Hutton, and Harvey. Hutton. Don't love Johnston. I'm assuming he's going to get Surtain, but I want to assume Johnston gets Surtain. My guess is they're going to try to get Surtain on McConkey of anything there, David. But they also might not really care. And maybe then Johnson does get Surtain. But either way, Johnston, I'm probably rolling Dobbins for sure out of this group. Don't love him this week, but he's the best of this group. And then probably, maybe, if you're really leaning away from Johnston, I would go Tutton. That would be where I'm at. But I would lean Johnston. James, good morning. Pick 2 for flex: Swift, Tracy, Franklin, Butte, and Cup. I would go Swift and Franklin there, James. Shane, I am not sure, Shane. If you want to just drop it in here. I am rolling through the questions that are rolling in live now, Shane, and I'm also trying to get Twitter to load to get to the backdated ones that are eons ago here on my Twitter thread. So once Twitter does load, we will start to catch back up. I know I'm a little far behind this morning, so Shane, just drop her in here again and we'll get to it. I do also have Aaron Jones. Is he worth holding on to in my IR spot if already taken? Or drop or pick someone else up. David, that's a roster question as far as like how your roster looks. Would you rather hold a wide receiver or a running back? They're kind of the same thing. Both worth holding, I think. But if you can only pick one, pick whichever one you have the weakest area in as far as your roster goes. Cleveland here, Ben. Pick 2, BTJ, Adams, AJ Brown, Odunze. Odunze and Devontae Adams for me, Ben. Pretty simple there. Emilio, would you start CJ Stroud, Swift, Mooney, Shaheed, or Johnson in flex in a standard league? I'd start Stroud if you can. 100%. CJ Stroud. Justice Hill over Miles Sanders. You may need to find a better running back too, yes. But yes, Justice Hill this week. Probably not. San Francisco, not the best matchup for Arizona, and Benson's limited usage. I'd rather have Tutton in over Benson. Okay. Now that we've caught up on the live questions, let's slide back in here and catch up on some of these old ones. John Ditcher on X. We got bench one, Debo, Higgins, Golden, Williams. Pretty easy for me. Matthew Golden, until we get that connection really flying there for that pairing of Love and Golden, he will be on my bench, sadly. Pepe, Flores, Love, or Goff. I'm going to go Love. Tracy or Algier would be Tracy. And then Fannin or Kraft, I will go Fannin. Let's see here. Winston, 202. Let's see here. Kyron Williams, Jordan Mason would be Mason. And then McLaurin, Higgins, or Parcell would be Higgins for me here. DV on X. Winston, Colston, Loveland, or Brenton Strange. I would go Strange there. Carl Gita on X. McMillan, Kyron Williams, ETN, and Warren pick 2. So that would be ETN and Warren for me. Let's see here. DRN, Jacoby Myers or Kayshon Butte at flex. Not a huge proponent to Myers this week. He's had really good volume, tough matchup against Washington. But in this instance, I'm going Jacoby Myers over Butte. I like May this week. I like Butte, but leaning a little to Myers, just the volume's a little safer in that passing attack, considering I think Bauer's still going to be nursing that knee a little. So I'm going to go with Myers there. Then McConkey or Quentin Johnston, you got to go Ladd. I know Johnston's had the explosion. You're really chasing points with Johnston a little bit. Good volume, but Ladd still has the better volume there, and that's really what you want to chase is volume over points more times than not. Let's see here. Does A.J. Brown score more than 10 points for the first time this season? Yes. I'm going to say it. Maybe 11. 10.5. 10.5 gets me there. I'll take the over. I'll take that. Clever handle on X. Mike Evans or Rome Odunze. Ooh, juicy. I'm going to go Rome. I like Mike. I do. I like Mike Evans this week. I like Rome Odunze. I'm going to go with Rome because I think it's a better matchup. And it's pretty clear that right now he's the go-to for Caleb. Not that Mike Evans isn't for Baker, but facing the Jets, there's that chance that Evans could get locked down decently. I think Rome has the best chance to explode for 25 points and 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to go with that. Similar floors. I think the upside's more predictable with Rome than Mike Evans this week. Emmanuel, Omarion Hampton, or Bill Krosky, Merritt, Pickens, or Abuka. So still like Abuka this week, but I'm going to go Pickens in this scenario because if I can pivot off of Abuka with an injury to a similar ranked player, which Pickens is for me, I would go that route with Pickens. As far as the running backs go, I don't like either. I will probably go Omarion Hampton, though, of those two. And no problem. David Dombrowski, pick 2. Running backs, 2 flexes. Jacobs, JCM, Ken Walker. Marvin Harrison. Can also swap Marvin Harrison. Ted is a better option on wide receiver. Ted and Marvin Harrison feel like the same for me, David. But so 2 running backs are Jacobs and Walker. You got to start those 2. I know Jacobs has a tough matchup, still a top 12 guy, though, just based on volume in that offense and how explosive it is. Walker, unlikely to see Charbonnet today, so I'm going to roll with him. Your 2 flex options would be Marvin Harrison and I guess Bill, because you have Walker listed twice here, David, so I'm not 100% sure if you meant somebody else other than Walker. But because you only have 4. Oh, okay, you got Mason in there. Okay, so Jacobs, Walker, Mason, Marvin Harrison would be my 4. Okay. Nope. Hitting buttons. Hit this in there again, Manuel. Maybe you missed it. Hampton and Pickens. Let's see here. Vic on X, Abuka, Tet, or Keenan. I'd go Keenan Allen there. Chargers passing game's hard to avoid at the moment. So Joe Getta, who you starting? Olave, Debo Samuel, or Wan'Dale Robinson? I got Debo there. Damien, we're not gonna get to that at the moment. I don't know what to do about setting this lineup. Ladd, Wilson, Troy, Tet, Franklin, please help. Okay, so we got Franklin, Ladd, Tet, and flex spot. Okay, so Wilson over Tet here, Darnell. And that will get you into the spot that I would have it. Sport Freak on X, playing a Mika and JSN, or rather play Marvin Harrison Jr., A.O. Manor, or Tillman instead. So I would go Marvin Harrison Jr. over Mika. Again, not that I'm avoiding a Mika, everybody, but if you have a closely ranked player, I would potentially pivot just to avoid the whole injury concern. F-Ball Tribe, start Ladd, Harrison Jr., Tet, Hollywood Brown, pick 2. So Brown is in for me against the Giants secondary, and then I will go Ladd in a pretty nice divisional matchup there. Jones or May this week, I am going Drake May. Daniel Jones is exciting and fun, but I feel like this could be that letdown spot. Division game, Titans, decent defense. Like, this could be the week we see Daniel Jones regress some, so... Need to stream a quarterback. 4 points for passing touchdowns. Have Lawrence and Mariota. Russ, Penix. I would go Mariota. And Tila. The question is a little confusing, Jamie, but I think that's what you want as the answer, which would be Mariota and Lawrence. T-Law or Knicks for freeze warning. So that would be T-Law and then BTJ over Keenan Allen. Let's see here. Keenan Allen or Marvin Harrison Jr. I will go Marvin Harrison Jr. Henderson or Abuka. I would go Abuka there. David, Kraft, Connor, or Pacheco for flex. Ooh, David, you're testing me. I really like Pacheco this week. I do. The only way I like Pacheco, though, is if he scores touchdown. So I expect that to happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But I would probably lean to him. Like Kraft, I've historically just don't love Tucker Kraft that much. And maybe I'm wrong. It seems like I'm wrong as of late. Just felt like too many mouths to feed. Again, there's a lot of injuries there, so it could still be that situation. But knee injury concerning, they don't really need him to win this game. So I could see where he might be a little bit more of a decoy in Tucker Kraft. So I'm going to roll Pacheco. I'm doing it, David. Roll Pacheco. Baker or Caleb? Baker's my man. Game time stat. Yeah. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Baker. Rumors is weather might be a little nasty also in Chicago, so I'm going to take Baker there. Vibes. Zettis, Hollywood Brown, Pittman, or Dubes? Hollywood, for sure. Honestly, even two with that points per or half point per first down. I like that. Hollywood should be one of the main focal points of that passing attack there for the Chiefs this week, again, with no Xavier Worthy. So I'm in on it. Let's see here. James Chapman on X, Dubes, or Tyler Algier would be Dubes. TW on X, Walker Pollard would be Ken Walker. Jennings or Garrett Wilson, in standard is still Garrett Wilson for me. Carlos, what's up, Carlos? Rest of the season tight end. Hunter Henry, Ertz, or Likely? Ooh. I'm torn on Likely because I feel like they're not getting Andrews involved. And we can argue Andrews is cooked, which I don't think is actually the truth to that. I think it's the passing attack in general now that has Hopkins, Bateman, Zay Flowers when he's healthy. They also have the run game continuing with Derrick Henry. I just don't know if there's enough meat on the bones for Likely to also then be a thing. I feel like Likely is going to be a tough start on a weekly basis. So I would probably go Ertz. I still think that Ertz is very muchly involved. I don't know if that's the week for Zach Ertz, but it also could be with Mariota. So I still lean Ertz. I do like Hunter Henry. It just seems a little volatile at the moment. Ertz feels a little more reeled in and narrower variance to his weekly finishes. So I would probably roll with Ertz moving forward. Let's see here. Loveless, pick one, Butte, Tillman, or Manungai. I will go Butte there. Dewey on X. Hunter Henry, but good depth of wide receiver. Would you trade Cup for Fannin? Yes, I would actually do that and redraft Cup for Fannin. Montgomery or Stevenson this week? I'm going to go Stevenson. I was a proponent coming into the season that I thought Ramondre Stevenson would exist for a majority of the season. It's only been 2 weeks, but he's definitely involved more than I think everybody wants him to be. But it does lead to two fairly decent fantasy backs. So I will go with Stevenson over Montgomery for that. We got Mason, McConkey, or Warren. I will go Mason and Ladd there. Jawan on X, Kyron, Brees, or Swift. I'm going to go Brees Hall there against the Tampa defense. It's a pretty good matchup there. Boomer, roll the dice with a Booker, find another game plan. Also Hurts or Williams. I would go Abuka and Williams. Carlos, Higgins or Purcell this week would be T. Higgins for me. I still like him. I do worry a little with Browning against the Minnesota defense, but I do think that Higgins will still be fairly involved. Purcell, I don't hate it, but I do think if Jennings plays, it kind of hurts him a little bit. So I will go with T. Higgins still. We got Action Jackson on X, Mariota or Wentz. I will go Mariota. Jacoby Myers, Wandell Robinson, or Ricky Pearsall will be Wandell. Sutton, tough matchup, Wandell or Golden Cup. Wandell again. FB Ball Tribe start Ladd, Harrison, Jr., Hollywood, Brown, pick 2. So Brown and Ladd there for me. Mike, what's up, Mike? Pitts or Goddard? Kyle Pitts. I like spot against Carolina. I think he's borderline tight end 1. Goddard, meh. Feels very up and down. Large variance in Goddard. So Pitts feels a little safer at the moment. Good matchup against Carolina as well. David, 2 flexes, Downs, Austin, or Fannin. Fannin for sure. And then Josh Downs. Eli, Wandell, or Marvin Harrison. Ooh, tough. I want it to be Marvin Harrison, but I will probably go Wandell there. Eli. Pay one, pick two, Sutton, Abuga, Allen, or Pollard. So I'll go Pollard and Allen. I'll go Abuga there. Luke on X, Moore or Ridley this week, and that's DJ Moore. I will go Calvin Ridley. Not Jerry, Jennings, or Stephon Diggs would be Jennings. Kraft or Laporta for Sean would be Laporta. I like the spot for Laporta this week against Baltimore. Typically a little softer against the tight end position. Shane, I've finally made your question, Shane. Hopefully you're still here, Shane. If not, I'm about to answer it on Twitter. But OC, Abuka or McMillan, Fannin or Goddard. I would go McMillan and Fannin for you there, OC. Shane, play one full PPR. Jamison, Williams, Diggs, Parcell, Ridley, Troy, Franklin. I would go Franklin. Play one PPR. Sutton, Diggs, Kirk, Kareem Hunt, Kirk. And then also how you feel about Kraft. Should I sub him for Strange even if he plays? I would probably play Kraft over Strange, Shane. It's going to be interesting to see how much they use him again. Nursing that knee injury, I kind of like him still a little bit over Strange. Strange 5 to 6 targets if you're lucky. If he scores, good week kind of thing. Kraft could still be involved more, a little bit more than Strange this week. Okay. Let's see here. Baker or Herbert, 6-point passing touchdown league. I would go Herbert. There. Richard, Dak, or Goff against the Ravens. I am going to go Dak. Tough matchup, but I do think I'm going to go with Dak there. Algier or Hampton. I would go Marion Hampton. Sports Square Writer. That's a whole lineup question. Ain't going to handle that one right here, right this second. Jason, start one at running back. Hampton, Stevenson, or Montgomery. Stevenson. Christopher, Hollywood, or Johnston would be Hollywood. And Browning or Lawrence would be Lawrence. Added way too many letters in there. Corey on X. Advice, Kittle hurt. Goddard's my backup. Go with him or pick up. I feel like Corey, maybe you answered this on the thing. Corey, I think we answered this one already for you. Jonathan Rich, pick one between Merritt, Judy, or Hunter. I will go Judy. And then Mason or O'Marion Hampton would be Jordan Mason. Okay, David, trade Jettis, Connor, and Johnson and Johnston/Hunter for Cook and Amon-Ra. That one I would do, David. I would send Johnston. So I'd send Jettis, Connor, and Johnston for James Cook and Amon-Ra St. Brown. 100% would do that one, David. No, keep the running back. Send the wide receivers. Kelsey, good morning. Chase Brown, Pickens, or Etienne. Which two should I pick? I would roll with Chase Brown and why can't I think of this off the top of my head right now? Yeah, Chase Brown is in for sure, Kelsey. And then as far as Pickens and Etienne go, it's kind of a coin flip. I would probably go Pickens if you need an upside swing. Feels like a safer play is George Pickens. It's an easier matchup against Bears secondary. It's a little banged up. And then Travis Etienne, it's up and down, but it's between him and Tutton. And then it kind of is, whoever scores a touchdown a little bit. So I would go Chase Brown and Pickens, just a cleaner situation for him, equal upside for both players. Colton Pitts or Jawan would be Jawan, and then Higgins or Ridley, and that is Higgins. Andrew on X, pick one at flex, JMO, Pearsall, or Franklin. I will go Franklin there. Justin Arras, Calvin Austin, Mooney, Juju, or Bourne. Austin. There. Lost 0-2, lost Joey B. Looking to get on a win column this week. Which two do you play? DK, Cortland Sutton, Jennings, or Ridley? DK and Jennings for Derek on X. Start 2 full PPR, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, JK Dobbins. So JK and Allen. Olave or Sutton, have Johnson at tight end. Still Olave. Anthony Krosky, Moret, or Omarion. I'll go Krosky there. Cutter on X. Since Xavier Worthy is out, should I start Hollywood Brown in flex instead of Cortland Sutton? Yes. And double yes. Clipper for Knicks or Caleb Williams would be Williams. Start T. Higgins, Johnson, or Myers, and Higgins. Oh, that's not visible anymore. Terry Woodkey. Let's see. Need one from Hampton, Hollywood, or Scadoo, Hollywood. For you there, Terry. Cindy on X, Baker or Herbert. I would go Justin Herbert there. Let's see here. Crazy to bench Hurts for Caleb this week. No. JN on YouTube. Swift or Jalen Warren. I would go DeAndre Swift. Like the spot for him. Seems like a pretty decent matchup there. It's going to be some rain, so I think that we're going to see a little bit more of the ground game than we expect. Also, I think the Bears defense can hold Dallas down a little bit. It's going to be a little bit nitty gritty, but I do think DeAndre Swift has a decent day. Javonte or Chase Brown. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with Chase Brown here, Toby. I think that given the passing attack and how it's all going to fall out, I think that Browning will have to kind of check down a little more to Chase Brown. And Javonte's good start, but I don't love him as much, I'd say, as Chase Brown. Jack, single quarterback, Jones or Drake May will be Drake May for me, Jack. Nathan on X, Jalen Warren, Jacoby Myers, or Pickens. I'll go Pickens there. Let's see here. Pick 2 full PPR. Flowers, London, or Sutton. That would be Flowers and London. Sit 1, Odunze, JSN, or Adams. I will sit Devontae Adams there, Marco. On X. Joseph Tsai. Let's see here. Start 1, Drake May, Caleb Williams. I'm going to go with May. I like Drake May a little bit more than Caleb. It was a tough matchup against Pittsburgh, but I think he pulls that one out for us. Justin Pacheco or Tillman. I'm going to go Isaiah Pacheco. Terry, we got you that one on the stream. Juice hit 2. BTJ, Odunze, Wilson, Tet, Genty. So Odunze and Wilson for me. Luke Tumber, Henderson, or Judy. I'll go Hendo. There for you, Luke. Easy 714. Krosky or Quinshawn Judkins. I'm a huge Judkins guy. Really liked him coming out this year, so I'm gonna roll with it. Supposedly he's getting the start. I know it's a tough matchup against Green Bay, but it feels like he's got a little bit more of the runway than Krosky Merritt does. I think Merritt may see a collaborative mess of Rodriguez and McNichols involved. So half PPR Hampton or Wandell would be Wandell Robinson for me, Nathan. Let's see here. Chomp and Chomp 29 pick full PPR pick 1 Ridley Sutton, Allen, or Debo. Debo Samuel there for me. Let's see here. Blue Jays 2023. Good morning. Tight end and wide receiver, running back, tight end, flex. Johnson, Laporta, Judkins, Shaheed. I'm gonna go Laporta and Johnson there. Do like Judkins, but I'll take the 2 tight ends there. Rodgers or Stroud in second super flex for Joe on X. I will go Stroud. Zach Chase Wilson. Caleb Tet. David, would you start Tracy, Thielen, Tillman, or JMO over Abuka? I mean, if you want to. I still have Abuka ranked higher. If anybody, it's going to be Jameson Williams, David. That would be it. Because I think he could have a big upside. Ravens secondary is a little meh, especially on that deep. Oh, excuse me, on the deep ball. I think Goff could definitely hit that once to Jameson Williams. So, if anybody, it's JMO, but I still am okay playing Abuka this week. Tony picked to run at flex full PBR. Johnson, Hunter, Fannin, Algier. Fannin and Johnston for me, Tony. Robert on X, pick 2. Judy, Pearsall, Ellick, Franklin, Judkins, Scattaboo. So Franklin and Judkins. There. Pearsall, maybe. Joey Slide, Judkins, or Hampton. Judkins for me. Caleb or Love. I will go Caleb there. Let's see here. Golden or Mooney for Matt on X would be Darnell Mooney. Joel, I believe we got this one for you. Kyle, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Ladd, Hubbard, or Warren. Pick 1 would be Garrett Wilson. Tony, you're welcome. Destro, New Jersey, Herbert or May would be Justin Herbert there. Kenny Watts, Kyler Murray, Jared Goff. We will go with Murray, and I would go Myers. Sit 1 for Joey. Joseph Sly here. Pollard, Fannin, or Olave. I would sit Olave. Need to flex T. Higgins. Need a flex. T. Higgins, DJ Moore, Quentin Johnson, Chubb, or Judy. I will go with Higgins. Elizabeth on X. Crafter, Laporta. I will go Laporta. JSN, Odunze, and Jefferson, bench, Tit, and Pittman. Yes. Roberto, do I start Cup or Abuka? I go with Abuka. Dun, 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 dun. Man, I am just not catching up here. Ash, TJ Brown, or AJ Brown, Terry Ladd, Golden, then Franklin on my bench. So should I start Franklin over one of them? John Smith on X. Start to Ted McMillan, Mason Walker. Mason and Walker. DJ Moore or Cortland Sutton would be Cortland Sutton for me. Tiff, what's up, Tiff? Happy Sunday. Hopefully it's always happy. There's football. It's always happy. Might win or lose fantasy league, but in different leagues, is Goff the better option over either Hurts or Rodgers? Rodgers, yes. Hurts, probably not. I would probably still play Jalen Hurts over Goff. There's a chance that Goff explodes, but I don't know. Again, the Ravens defense is pretty good. They've had a rough start against the passing attack, but they're still a pretty stout defense that I'm not overly confident starting Jared Goff against. So Jameson Williams, Olave, Hampton, Coleman, Judkins start 2. So Judkins and Olave there. Start 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, 2 flex, bench 4. So 1 wide receiver would be BTJ, Hollywood, Genty, and Kyron. Do I set Terry McLaurin for Calvin Ridley with Jaden Daniels out? PJ Gallagher, nah. I'd still play Terry McLaurin there. Let's see here. Andrew Berzino on X. Need 2 in full PPR. Abuka, Hunter, Jawan Jennings, or J.K. Dobbins. Andrew. I'll go Dobbins, volume based, and then I will probably go Jennings. I do like Abuka, but I will probably roll with Jennings in that situation for you, Andrew. Nick D, second flex spot. Golden, Hendo, Algier, or Fannin leading Algier. I'm gonna go Henderson there for you, Nick. I don't, I'm not sold on Tyler Algier, but thank you, David. Jennings is out. Well then, where was that question that I answered for Andrew? Delete that. Good to know that Jennings is out. I was about to make it over there. So Abuka and Dobbins. Gotta get over to those. Russell. We got Ridley or Parcell. I guess I'll go Parcell then. Dell, Dobbins or Keenan Allen. I will go JK. I'll go Keenan Allen. Dell, Keenan Allen. Goff or Mahomes for Steven would be Mahomes. I'd probably drop Aaron Jones, David. Since David has actively told me that Jennings is out, we should check that and see if anybody else is missing. Let's see here. Riley Leonard. Anybody else that's going to catch me? No, Red Oliver, Chris Godwin. No. Okay. So all right. Johnson or McConkey for Corey. I would go McConkey there. Okay. So I guess with David's enlighten us of that Juwan Jennings is out. I have not seen that yet, but I'm also scrolling through a Twitter thread. So, and I trust David. So if you have asked questions where I've mentioned Juwan Jennings, feel free to hop back in. We'll reassess that with the new news that Juwan Jennings will be out this week. Kevsky, Travis Etienne over Marion Hampton for you there. Higgins over Abuka, full PPR. Yes. What is this going on here? Oh my, Twitter is breaking on me. Okay, Higgins over Amika Abuka. Would it be Higgins? Jordan Love or Kyler Murray for Dan on X would be Jordan Love. I like the matchup against Cleveland. I know they might not need to be heavily throwing, but I think Cleveland could stay in that game. So I'm going to go with Jordan Love a little bit. DJ or Caleb Williams would be Caleb, and then Swift or Butte would also be DeAndre Swift. Camille, half PPR, running back, one flex out of Chubb, Henderson, Harvey, Rashad White, Ridley. So Chubb and Ridley. There. Jay, Pollard, or Sutton would be Pollard. Paging Mr. Dannon on X. Start 1, ETN, Connor, AJ Brown. I'm going to go AJ Brown. I think this week we get a little bit of a bounce back there from AJ Brown this week. Smitty or Troy Franklin. I will go Troy Franklin. Phil. Pretty simple there. Hollywood or Juwan Jennings. Oh, yeah, I believe you, David. Don't worry. I just looked at the inactives and didn't see anything. So obviously their game is not right now, so it doesn't matter. But I believe you, David. I trust you. Sure, Joe. Should I start Dobbins or McLaurin? I'm concerned about McLaurin given. I wouldn't be too concerned about McLaurin with Mariota. I'd be concerned that McLaurin just hasn't been very good thus far. But I will start him. I'll start Dobbins over McLaurin. Val on X, Tet or Higgins. I'll go with Tet McMillan there. Loopy, 2 quarterback league, 6 points, pick 2, Stafford, Geno, or Mac Jones. Staff and Jones. Knicks or Stafford for Thor on X, Knicks and Connor or Warren. I would still go James Conner there. NY Guido on X, pick 2, Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams, Chuba Hubbard. I would go Adams and Hubbard there for you. Don't love the matchup for Hubbard, but I think he'll be better than Kyron. Also a tough matchup. Let's see here. So we got Gibbs, Pearsall, Robinson, Pollard, Sutton, London. Yeah. Let's see here. I like it, Jake. Jake Verde, good roster. Let's see here. C. Bella on X, Wandell Robinson, Marvin Harrison, Franklin. I will go Wandell. Tutton or Algier. I will go Tutton. For mixed slummers on X. Steve, Devontae Smith, JMO, or Higgins. I will go T. Higgins there. Matt Carson on X. Ibuka, Pickens, or Higgins. Pickens and Javonte or Mason. I will go Mason. Hollywood or Ridley for Fire Fan on X would be Hollywood. Jay, pick 2 running backs and 1 flex. Swift, add Genty, Kamara, Mason, Ibuka, Ridley. Mason, Kamara, and Genty. Ben, Mariota or Cam Ward, Superflex. Mariota. Yeah, Mariota's a top 20 quarterback this week. So, Dr. Habs, Darnell Mooney, Travis Hunter, Franklin would be Franklin. Okay. Carlos, Hampton, Mooney, or Butte would be Mooney. Rob Task, Pacheco or Stevenson would be Pacheco. Ross Thornton, pick 2, Ibuka, Harrison, or AJ Brown. AJ Brown and Ibuka. Debo Higgins or Diggs for Eberman on X. Venus O'Neill, half PPR, Krosky, Merritt, Ridley, Cup, Tutton, and Rogers or Penix. I would go Krosky, Merritt, and Penix. Full PPR, need 2 wide receivers and a flex. Evans, Wilson, Moore, Jennings, Jalen, Warren. So Evans and Wilson. For your 2 wide receivers, your flex would be Warren. For you there, Tank on X. Josh Downs, Matthew Golden. I will go Downs for you, Steven. Need to start 2 at flex. Pearsall, JMO, Chubb, Montgomery. So Pearsall and ETN. There for you. TS Wood. Sutton, Jawan Johnson for Lloyd would be Johnson. Brian Dump, Herbert starting right now considering Dak. No. Play Herbert over Dak. Mr. Dan Bland, half PPR, Smith, Dobbins, Debo Samuel. Pick 2 would be Debo and Dobbins for me. Da, 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 da. Oh my God, I can't spell. It's more like typing. There we go. Danny, please pick 1. Keenan Allen, Wandell, or JMO. Ooh. Wandell Robinson. I like the spot. They're going to have to pass against the Chiefs. No, it's a little bit of a tough secondary, but they've been giving up a little bit lately. So I will go with Wandell Robinson. Russ looked pretty good last week. I know it wasn't the toughest matchup against Dallas's defense, but if the line can hold up for the Giants, Wandell should have a pretty big game again this week. Garns, Flex, Franklin, Judkins, Judy, Tillman, Travis, Hunter. I will go Judkins. I'll ride it. Let's ride it out. Let's go with Judkins. Philly Flock, Hampton, Dobbins, or Ramondre. I will go Dobbins. Let's see here. Blade Runners, Algier or Hampton. I'll go Algier. AJ Brown, Pittman, or Franklin. I will go AJ Brown. Too risky to not start AJ Brown, in my opinion. Gustavo need 2 for flex. Fannin, Wandell, TJ Moore, Henderson. So I will go Wandell and Fannin. Swift, Mischief, Debo, Higgins, or Johnston. Need to start one. I would go with Debo Samuel. Troy on X, Golden or Abuka. I'll go Abuka there. Roberto Lopez, Jalen Warren, Garrett Wilson, Wilson. You're welcome, Swift Mischief. Mr. 755, Dobbins or Swift? I will go Swift. And then AJ Brown or Pittman will be AJ Brown. Mike Rogers, Flex, Keenan, Allen, O'Marion, Hampton, Ridley, or Fannin Jr. Allen. Dak against the Bears or Caleb? I will go Caleb over Dak. Jake on X, Abuka or Scattaboo would be Abuka. Last one, Etienne or Mason for Rostel will be Mason. Penix or Kyler for Michi. I will go Kyler there. Matias Sosa, Ridley, Krosky, Merritt, Franklin need one wide receiver, one flex. So Franklin and Ridley. Lex Luthor picked 2, Brown, Genty, Stevenson, and Swift. So I would go Brown and Genty. You're welcome, David. It is getting we're cruising here, David. We're getting there. All right. So this is PPR format for Sold by B Arizona. Realtor Arizona. Jalen Warren or Ashton Genty. I'm still riding Genty. I know it's been a rough go. Washington's defense pretty stout against the run. But I think could be a week that Genty finds the end zone. I think this is a sneaky good game. Like, I think there's going to be some points scored here. Mariota and the Raiders game could go the other way because they're both actually pretty good defensive units as well. But yeah, I'm going to ride out Ashton Genty. Jalen Warren against the Pats defense, not overly excited there. I think he has a decent day, but I think Genty, we could finally get that week that we're hoping for. Mark V on X, pick 3, Tet, Rome, Drake, Alvin, and Zay. So we're going to go Rome, Zay, and Alvin Kamara. No problem. Anytime. That's what I'm here for. David, good luck. Yes. Very true, right? Never want the other players that you're facing to go off. That's what happens. I am currently in a league that I'm 0-2 and have the most points scored. Just saying. It happens. It's the name of the game. Holmes and Watson, Jacoby Myers, Tony Pollard, Bashil Tutton, or Alec Aomanor. I would go Tony Pollard there. Abuka or Marvin Harrison Jr. for Kevin. I will go Marvin Harrison Jr. We're catching up, folks. We're getting there. Need 2 starts for Anton, Tutton, Golden, Bateman, or Butte. I will go Butte and Tutton. Pick 2 for flex for Alphonse on X, Buka, Warren, Keenan, JCM, or Pittman. So I'll go Warren and Allen. Debo Samuel or Jamison Williams. I don't know what just happened there. Will be Debo for you, horse in shorts. Fusdom, Caleb, or Baker. I will go Baker. Tillman, Downs, Kirk, or Butte. I would go Kirk there. I like Christian Kirk today. Arrow, Boiler, choose 3. Sutton, Higgins, Parasol, JMO. Sutton. Greg, Parasol, or Bill would be Pearsall for me, especially with no Jennings now. This question was asked a little before the Jennings news, but either way, Scott Sheffield on X, Tet Swift, or Dobbins for flex. I'll go Tet McMillan there. Swift Mischief need 1 flex. Michael Pittman, Devontae, or McLaurin. I'll go McLaurin. The Titans secondary is a little bit better than I think we remember. But yeah, I would roll Terry McLaurin in that situation. Yeah, I had him on Raw. I had him on Raw and still lost the matchup, David. So that's how unlucky I've been the first start of this season. But any changes in the lineup? Ain't gonna look at that one just a second. Kevin, Laporta, or Johnson would be Laporta for me. Red Zone Rambler, Pearsall, or Krosky Merritt. Pearsall. I am nobody on X. Full PPR, Ridley or Dobbins would be Dobbins. Coffee Kong, Keenan Allen, Golden, or Wan'Dale Robinson. I will go Wan'Dale Robinson. Jeff Johnson, T. Higgins, or Pickens, half PPR. Pickens, and then Debo or Pickens, full PPR would be Debo. Dobbins or Pollard for Dana on X would be Pollard. Fantasy football guy, Penix, A-Rod, or Mariota would be Mariota for me. John Doe on X, ETN, or Pickens would be ETN. Bill, Ridley, or Sutton in flex would be Ridley for me. Oh, boys and girls, we are moving. Anthony, Kelsey, Pitts, or Kelsey or Pitts, and it's going to be Travis Kelsey for me. Anthony, V on X, Mariota or Cam Ward in super flex would be Mariota. Pacheco or Ridley for Slammy boy. Pacheco. Nah. Hey, we're closing in here. Justin, Parasol, Mooney, Montgomery would be Pearsall for me. Nathan, Jordan Mason, or Garrett Wilson. Ooh, that's a tough one. I like both. I'll go Jordan Mason. Running backs tend to have a little bit more safety to their production, so I'm gonna roll with Jordan Mason there. Oh boy. Darnold or Mariota for Dowell on X. Mariota. Romeo, my guy, what's up? Zay Flowers or Lad McConkey. I'm gonna go Zay. Like the upside this week against Detroit's secondary. Should be a fun game on Monday night, so I'm going to go with Zay Flowers there. AT, Brian Thomas Jr., Cortland Sutton, or DJ Moore. I will go with Brian Thomas Jr. Super Bowl champs, Hampton or Golden. I'll shoot the upside of Matthew Golden there. Need 3 for Arrow Boiler between Parasol, Higgins, JMO. Ooh, that's a good set there. So we got Franklin, Parasol, and Higgins. Okay. Durst here on X. Chubb, Judkins, Charbonnet, Krosky, Merritt, pick 2. So Judkins and Chubb. Rondo, Franklin, or Montgomery. I will go Troy Franklin. One more for Romeo. Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas Jr. Sit Brian Thomas Jr. I'm going to play Wilson and Flowers. 2 good matchups. I'm not too worried about Tyrod being able to get the ball to Wilson. I think some people are, but I would not be. Chris, Ibuka, or Ridley. I will go Ibuka. There. Let's see here. Waluigi, Dobbins or Sutton, and then Swift or Dobbins. So it'd be Dobbins and then Swift over Dobbins. Hampton or Judkins for keeping it G on X. Would be Judkins. Oh my goodness. Twitter is not cooperating right now. Bryce, Cortland, Sutton, Garrett Wilson, JSN. Wilson and JSN. Trust Ibuka or go with Scadaboo, Judkins, or Allen for Mrs. Stronsky. I would go Judkins. Them boys, Olave or Devonta, I would go Olave, Slim Reaper. Aaron on X, need 3. Parasol, Ted, Jacoby, Chase, Brown, T. Higgins, Butte. So Parasol, Brown, Tet. Glock, Purdy, Parasol, McMillan, or Mason. Sit McMillan. Let's see here. Coach Cola, what's up? Pittman or Swift PPR for the flex. Love both their matchups. Quad for Swift got me nervous. Yeah, I get it. Pittman, I'm not in love with. Like, I mean, I know Tennessee's secondary is not the strongest in the world, but it's also not the weakest in the world. They've also been pretty decent against the pass. So I'm gonna go with Swift personally. I know the quad's a concerning thing and it could flare up, but at this moment, I would roll DeAndre Swift in what I think might be a little bit more of a run heavy game if the rain does come in through Chicago there. So that's where I'm gonna roll. Is would be DeAndre Swift. QJ or David Montgomery. I will go QJ there. Nico on X, Abuka, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Travis Hunter need 2. So Kirk and Smith. Julian Langner, start 1. Matthew Golden, O'Marion, Hampton, Judkins, Troy Franklin, already Sutton and Dobbins started. Ooh. I will go Judkins due to heavy Denver starters. Pickens or McConkey would be McConkey for Brett on X. Fabian, Chuba, or Pickens would be Pickens. Poppy on X, Wandell, Matthew Golden, David Montgomery, Jamison Williams start 1. I would go Wandell. Brandon Seal, Debo, or Kyron in flex. I will go Debo. For Brandon. Anthony Smemko, pick 2. Jamison Williams, AJ Brown, McLaurin, Travis Hunter. So AJ Brown and Jamison Williams. Nils, Higgins, or Pearsall. I will go Pearsall there. LC, Tet, or Wilson. I will go Wilson. Anthony, May, or Murray on X would be May. Mucho, Sutton, or Travis Hunter. I would go Cortland Sutton there. Mucho. Travis Hunter, it's too wide of a variance for me to be starting Travis Hunter anytime soon. Austin, Debo, or DJ Moore if X cooperates. It's Debo Samuel for you there, Austin. Wake up Odunze or McConkey. That would be Rome Odunze for me. Yeah, Mujo. It's all right. I expect I 100% expect Cortland Sutton to bounce back before Travis Hunter. So I know Franklin's involved. I know the issue that the best thing for him is still that Ingram is out. So they're gonna have Troutman in there likely, but like, let's be honest. Love Adam Troutman, but he ain't the hugest target hog by any means. So I think Sutton and Franklin can both have a good week. So I'm in on that. What's up, Rachel? Welcome in. I need 2 out of Turpin, Stafford, Kraft. Who else besides Turpin? Oh, okay. So Turpin, and I would go Stafford. No, you had that weird scoring. Probably Stafford. I'm afraid Kraft isn't used a ton today, so I would just go that route. Mike, defensive question. We got Vikings or the Bucks defense. I will go with the Vikings. Top until I die, Higgins or Olave. I will go Higgins. And Kraft or Johnson. I would go Johnson. Alex of Boxing Bodega on X. Need 1 running back in flex. Chase Brown, Jordan Mason, Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, or Abuka. So Brown and Mason. K Street, Kraft, or Pickens. I would go Pickens. Poppy, what's up? I would go Kraft. I'd still play Tucker Kraft. Don't think he's gonna be used a ton, but over Dallas Goedert, yeah, I'm still riding the upside of Tucker Kraft. Knicks or Caleb Williams? I would go Caleb Williams here, Mucho. Potential rain could be up or down type of territory there. But I do like Caleb Williams in a softer matchup against the Dallas secondary that is struggling. Okay, here. JC on X, Kamara or Williams. I will go Williams there. Tim on X, Abuka, Diggs, or AO Manor. Let's see here. I will go Abuka still there in a limited role, Tim. Wow. Okay. We are not closing in as much as I thought. Okay. Matthew, what's up, Matthew? I would go Amik Abuka. I know it's limited role, but Ridley's also been a very, very wide variance. So I'll go with Abuka. Both have honestly the same outcomes. Both could have 2 touchdowns. Both could have 2 points. So I'm going to go with Abuka, a little bit more proven. I know it's limited steps, but I think the limited stuff will be in important spots, maybe the red zone stuff like that, where he could see himself finding himself in the end zone. So I'll go there. Wandell, Jameson, Williams, David Montgomery, Matthew Golden. Start 1 for Poppy would be Wandell Robinson. Like the matchup against the Chiefs, if they got to get the ball out quick, it's going to be Wandell. If they're going to be able to stretch the field a little, we've also seen Wandell have some good deep shots there, especially against the Dallas secondary. So I am riding the high of Wandell Robinson right now. Matthew for the flex spot, Pittman, Franklin, Pacheco, or Judkins. I'll go with Pacheco here, Matthew. I like Judkins this week. I like Franklin, but I think Pacheco finds the end zone in that matchup here tonight on Sunday Night Football. So, Bullfrog, Pickle, Ball. Who do you bench? Mason, Kamara, BTJ, or Adams? Would be BTJ. Will sit on the bench for me. Need 2 receivers plus a flex for Zach, Nico Collins, London, Thomas, ETN. So sit Brian Thomas Jr. Oh. Terry or Parcell for feasibility on X. I just butchered that, but we'll go Parcell. Fantasy trenches, Hampton or Pacheco would be Pacheco. G-Men on X, Kenneth, ETN, or Jacobs. Ken Walker the third. Survivor fan, DJ Moore, Butte, Cup, Pearsall, half PPR, pick 2. So Pearsall and more. Slice Man Cometh. Got one more. John Jennings to rule out. Need another flex. Tutton, Harvey, or Austin. I will go Tutton. Hertz or Jones. Dun, dun. Zach Walker on X. This is back. Okay, so need 2 receivers plus a flex. Sit. two receivers plus a flex. Oh, okay. So he added one. So we got Collins. Oh my God. Collins in London, and then the flex is ETN. All right. Haywood Jab, sit one, full PPR, London, DK, T-Mac, Parasol, T-Mac. UCF football updates. Kyron Swift, Keenan, choose one. Swift for me. UNC, Fantic, pick two, Pearsall, Ridley, Sutton, Ale Manor, Perkins, Butte. So Pearsall and Sutton. We'll go with Brown over Smith there. Standard play, Tutton, Henderson, Golden, Tillman. I will go Tutton there for Jerobo. David, not enough. Still a top 5 receiver for me. I mean, it's a coin flip. I think Tutton could get in the end zone, David. I still lean Quentin Johnston, but I get it. Malik Neighbors, wide receiver 1, start or sit Downs or Wandell as flex. Ooh. I'd probably play Downs just in case the Giants get completely shut down. Probably. Just to back myself. I think Robinson probably has the better day. If I had to bet, as I have him ranked, he has a better day. But just in that off chance that the Giants get abolished and demolished to the point where Wandell doesn't do anything, I'd rather have that chance with Josh Downs in a different offense. So I'll go there with Josh Downs. PPR flex, Swift, Ibuka, Jameson, Williams. We'll go Swift there for Abe. Let's see here. Sutton, Ibuka, or Myers for Jordan Era. I will go Cortland Sutton. Kyler, Daniel Jones for Sub-Zero Thief. We will go, if this thing works here, Jones. We'll go on Dale over Olave and Jameson Williams here for Mo. Okay, well, we are closing in here, but Marion Hampton and Pacheco. We're going to go Pacheco for John. I will try to, if you are watching and have questions in, I'm going to try to get all these questions. Gonna have to get out of here in a couple minutes, but we'll get through what we can. If I don't get to them here on the stream, and they're in the thread, I will try to get to them. If I do not, I apologize. We only have so much time. So many of one person can make a reach here. So I'm going to try to get to every question. I'll hang out here for a little bit longer than typical because we do have enough. But if I do not get to your questions, I do want to, in advance, apologize. We are a little behind. But we are getting there. We're working my way through it. So got Earl on X here, Swift, Marvin Harrison Jr., Pittman, Flex need one, Pollard and Mason starting running backs. I would go Marvin Harrison Jr. there, Earl. Steven Bowers or Warren. Would be Tyler Warren there for Steven. Matt, Abuka Smith or Johnston. I would go Mika. Rich Freyes, Pacheco, Diggs, or Olave. I will go Pacheco there. Mark West, Jacoby Myers, or Ricky Pearsall. I will go Pearsall there. West Coast bias, standard scoring, Quentin Johnston, Matthew Golden, or Troy Franklin. I will go Franklin. Earl, Pollard, or Swift. I would go Pollard there. Troy Franklin or Calvin Ridley. Oh, and Twitter is deciding not to work right now. I gotta start calling it X, right? That's what it's called nowadays. Yeah. It's not working. Bear with me, folks. Oh, here we go. John Doe, Troy Franklin, Calvin Ridley would be Troy Franklin. Lawrence or Mariota for Nathan. I would go Lawrence there. Come on, Twitter. Let's move. Earl, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Michael Pittman would be Marvin Harrison Jr. Tick tock, tick tock. Tony Fannin or Travis Hunter. I would go Fannin there. Ryan Waltrip on X, Najigba, Debo Metcalf, Odunze pick 3. So Odunze and JSN are the first two. And then Debo. Mark West, Jacoby, or Pearsall would be Pearsall Mark. Need a wide receiver and flex options are Terry McLaurin, Abuka, Pearsall. So I would sit Abuka in that situation based on the injury concern. Brendan, JSN or Stevenson in flex. Full PPR is JSN. Dan, Sutton or Pacheco, Pitts or Fannin. Pacheco and Pitts. Joel, Pollard, or Connor would be Tony Pollard. Josh picked 2, Connor, Etienne, and Warren. Would be Connor and Etienne. All right. I'm going to pop out of here. I appreciate everybody stopping in for our Start Sit show here at FTN Fantasy. Remember, before you get out of here, make sure you check out at FTN Fantasy, obviously on X, which you're probably watching it on. Make sure you check out the website, ftnfantasy.com. Check out all the fun, great stats, start sit tools, rankings, data, articles, you name it. We have it over at FTN Fantasy, and not just for football. So if you're playing other sports as well, hockey's getting started soon, basketball, you name it. We play and cover most of every fantasy sport you could possibly need. So head on over there, check it out. Also, good way to get the rankings. And then that way you can also, if you didn't get the question answered or get it in time, you can always head over to the rankings and check those out. You'd get access to Discord chat as well throughout the week to kind of get some of the questions answered prior to today as well. So check it out. Would appreciate it. As always, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube as well. It would be much appreciated. Have a good day. Good luck this week. And if you have any more questions, head on over to my Twitter at PopesFFH and just drop the questions in there. I will try to get to all of them. Again, a little behind, but I will try to get to it prior to the 1 p.m. kickoff window. All right. Thank you again, and have a good day. Take care.